folks, it's Joe with the Hill Country Musicians Guild. Welcome to the brand new junior studio. We've already done a couple of projects here. It's been really nice. We've been having a lot of fun figuring out what works, what doesn't, what things can be added on the video side, and then just being able to bring in new gear and new people and trying out some things. Keep your eyes up for our first equipment review video and also a couple of more musician performances as well. I'm joined in the studio today with Robert Kelly, and this is a very special episode because you could say that we're kind of kicking off season 2, you might say. When we first started off this show, we did it at 13 Trees Coffee Shop with the permission of Jamie Rosales. Thank you so much, Jamie. We wish you nothing but the best with your enterprises in the future. And on top of that, we were just wanting to make sure that we were in a place that we could be in control of, especially when it comes to lighting and sound, and just having it whenever musicians are available. So this was the perfect spot. But the other nice thing that makes this a great episode is that we get to hand off the responsibilities to Robert Kelly himself. So this is kind of my last interview. I'll definitely be popping in for other shows, for live streams, for individual performances. So you haven't seen the last of me. But I did want to just let you know that from now on, Robert's going to be in this chair, and the interviewee will be in that chair. At some point, he's probably going to even interview me. So with all of that being said, and a grand intro, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jared. Thanks for having me.
Well, I guess the big thing to really ask is your genre choice, your feel, your tone is unlike so many other musicians in the area. How would you describe yourself?
I think of myself primarily as a folk singer. That's the tradition I feel most at home in. Mm-hmm. I sing a lot of folk standards, traditional songs, and blues songs, and things from that kind of Greenwich Village. Mm-hmm. Late 50s, early 60s New York era. That's where I'm comfortable playing. I was once described as Tom Gillum as a Dave Van Ronk type cat, which Dave Van Ronk is a huge influence on me, so that's an enormous compliment, especially coming from him.
Oh, yeah. And I share the sentiments. I think that your tone of voice, the style of your play, and then also the choice of gear as well all complements that particular sound. But I was curious about the guitar that you play. Is it a full body?
No, it's a parlor size guitar.
A parlor size,
which is roughly equivalent to a 3/4 size if you're going by the standards. And I play that chiefly because it was $180. And then about $80 of modifications installing a pickup. And I love the style of it. Like I said, I'm a big fan of blues music, and very much of the early blues music from the late 20s, where you have people playing mostly parlor guitars, 12-string guitars, and resonator guitars. So I can't afford a resonator. And while I like a 12-string, this is much more accessible and much more homey. I do a lot of thumb picking, Carter picking, and one of the advantages of a parlor guitar is the strings are all given kind of an equal place in terms of the sounding of the guitar. Some guitars lean toward their bass or their treble. A parlor guitar, by design, by its shape and its size, is very even. And because of the way I play, sometimes I'll do little fills on the high strings, and while I'm thumb picking the melody on the bass strings. And it suits my needs.
Did you, seek out the parlor guitar, or did you kind of stumble upon that one?
I did seek it out. I sought it because, again, it was affordable and it matched the kind of music I wanted to make.
To amplify the sound, though, you had to get an additional pickup for it, right?
Yes, I did. I purchased the guitar itself that I play for shows is a Gretsch Jim Dandy from 2018, I want to say.
Oh, that's fairly recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Gretsch the next year introduced a electroacoustic model called the Jinriki.
Ah.
Well, for people who didn't buy a Jinriki but wanted to use the Jim Dandy, they started selling the pickup separately. It's called a Delto Lux. Mm-hmm. And in some of my show advertising, I advertise Robert Kelly and his driving Delto Lux guitar.
That's awesome.
So I bought the Delto Lux pickup, and I had it for about 5 years. Mm-hmm. And it's really served me well. Mm-hmm. As that Gretsch is my workhorse. Mm-hmm. And the Delto Lux drives along, plays well with everybody.
If money wasn't an object, and you have like that one guitar that's off in the distance that is just that prized item, what would it be?
Just my experience with the Jim Dandy, I'm still loyal to it. Mm-hmm. It would be a custom made Jim Dandy with probably Johnny Cash is another huge influence. Probably my name in the fretboard like that.
Oh yeah, okay, that would be pretty cool. Are you talking about like in your name in the fretboard? It would be like mother of pearl lining.
Oh
or
yeah,
something
for sure.
Nice. And how? I know that these are big influences for you. Was it your parents that showed you this music originally? Was it something that you stumbled upon?
My parents were really interested in the music of their time. My parents were both born in the late 50s. Mm-hmm. And so there was a lot of 60s music going on in my house all the time. And that was kind of the stepping stone. So, I grew up hearing Oldies 103.5 out of Austin and Kono 101.1 out of San Antonio. Mm-hmm. And so...
Shout out!
Kono's still going. They're still an oldies station, but that's primarily playing what is now oldies, which is late 80s and early 90s. And I don't feel good about that.
Me either.
But...
I know this song.
So I grew up hearing a lot of 50s, 60s, and 70s music. Mm-hmm. And when I started looking for my own musical taste, and I'm a preteen and getting into things, a lot just started. That was my starting point. So I would find... From hearing Bob Dylan on the radio like a Rolling Stone, mm-hmm. I found the band. And from the band, I found Muddy Waters. And from Muddy Waters, I found Howlin' Wolf. And from Howlin' Wolf, just cascading.
The snowball effect.
Yeah.
And from one artist to another.
Just grabbing all these influences. Mm-hmm. My first real big influence was Marty Robbins. Mm-hmm. And that led me to Johnny Cash. And Johnny Cash is... kind of the North Star for me. I think without him and without Howlin' Wolf, the two of them are the biggest influences, and I would not be playing music if it weren't for them.
That's fascinating. Would you say that Marty Robbins is not appreciated enough? I know that a lot of people know Big Iron.
A lot of people know Big Iron, a lot of people know El Paso. I do a couple of Marty Robbins songs mm-hmm. in my set. And I have to clarify that I'm not going to sing El Paso when I say I'm going to do a Marty Robbins song. But I wish more people would move beyond Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs, the album those two songs come from.
Yeah.
It is a phenomenal album, I think. A desert island album for me.
Yeah.
But Marty Robbins has so much other great stuff, and it's not just cowboy songs.
I'm trying to remember the name of this one. It may be part of the Gunfighter album, but it's the one where the cattle rustler is about to be crushed by the cattle.
Yeah, Master's Call.
The Master's Call, is that on that album as well?
That's on, Gunfighter Ballads.
Incredible song.
Yeah.
I mean, from music to lyrical, and then just the background vocals as well. All of it is fantastic. That is really cool. I myself try to find at least one song or maybe a couple of songs within a genre and be like, okay, I like it. I guess it would be like a person that says, well, I don't hate all seafood. I eat fish sticks on occasion, but which sounds, I guess, a little bit shallow. But for the most part, most country music is lost on me, except for Marty Robbins, except for Johnny Cash. Those are the two that I really love, but it's because they sound completely different from everyone else.
I think both of them would have bristled at being called strictly country artists.
True.
Marty Robbins sang a lot of pop ballads. He had a beautiful voice. He wrote pop ballads. He wrote songs for Elvis. And Johnny Cash, no one ever knew what to do with him at any record company he ever worked for. Even when he went to Mercury and was a legend, like, no one knew what to do with him. I mean, they have him covering Elvis Costello songs and stuff, which I think went really well, actually. But
yeah.
To me, music genres in general are money men trying to make sense of art.
That's, wow, well said. We need that on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one thing that I've been noticing, especially talking with you, is that you have a vast knowledge on music history as well. There's a lot of people that can appreciate a song, a band, a genre, or something like that, but not really care about anything about like the significance of the recording or the people that arranged and got these like a band together. But it's really fun is that if it's like a rich encyclopedia talking to you and finding out about all of these facts in history. With that in mind, I was wondering if there is a story about either your favorite artist or just a band in general that sticks out to you and you're like, oh, I remember this story.
Well, I like to I'd like to tell a lot of these stories on stage when I'm introducing cover songs. And I simplify it when I'm performing, but there's a song I've been doing for a year or so now called One Meatball. That is I heard it from Dave Van Ronk. He heard it from Josh White. Josh White collected it from somewhere up in the northeast of the country. I forget where, but it was written originally as One Fishball by a professor from a university. I don't remember which one, but he went off campus to dine, and he forgot to bring money.
Okay.
So he only had 15 cents. And so he was like, I can't really, like, on campus, if I don't have my wallet on me, people know who I am. I can just, put it on a tab. But, this is not... And this is happening in, like, the 1890s, early 1900s. So he can only eat whatever he can get with those 15 cents. And so he orders one fishball.
What is a fishball?
Fishballs are like meatballs.
Okay.
And he orders the one fishball, and the waiter's like, "You want one fishball?" "Yes." "Okay." "Oh, with some water." "Okay." "And can I get some bread with that?" You don't get bread. And the song basically tells that story. But there's so much fun. I have so much fun emoting in that song. And I also do a kazoo solo on it. But I tell a short version of this story before I sing it. And I like to bring that music history fascinates me.
Me too.
And so I love to read these anecdotes and share them with people. I also have a column that I'm woefully behind on that I write for Andrew Blanton's Quality Americana, called Love and Theft.
You heard it here, guys.
About how we borrow from each other and from history and music history. The 2 articles I have out are about Johnny Cash stealing from Leadbelly and Bob Dylan stealing from Dave Van Ronk, and the amount of respect they had for those people that they stole from, intentionally or unintentionally.
I mean, maybe the intention of a person is I'm downright stealing something, but in doing so, you are preserving.
Oh yeah. And for example, I haven't written about this, but I probably will. A lot of people know that Johnny Cash used the same melody as Bob Dylan's "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right" for his song "Understand Your Man."
Oh yeah, good song.
But Bob Dylan stole that melody too from, I forget his name right off the top of my head, but it's a song called...
Be like a 50s, 40s artist?
No, a contemporary. Just a slightly earlier. Who also, he has an album of sea shanties that's wonderful. But Paul Clayton, that's who it was.
Paul Clayton with his sea shanties album.
Yes, but it wasn't on the sea shanty album. It's a song called "Who's Gonna Feed Your Chickens When I'm Gone?" And it has the same melody as "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right," and even some of the same lines as "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right."
Wow.
So there
would be some litigation nowadays if they tried to do that.
But it's really interesting because there are recordings from 1969 of Johnny Cash and Bob Dylan singing together. And one of the songs they do is a medley of "Don't Think Twice, It's All Right" and "Understand Your Man," weaving in and out of it.
Wow.
And Johnny Cash, when he starts out singing "Understand Your Man," he looks at Bob Dylan. He says, "Sound familiar?" And then Bob Dylan says something you can't really hear. And he goes, "Yeah, because we stole it from the same place." So those are the kind of things I think of and try to...
It's one of my favorite Johnny Cash clips. It's he was doing a concert with Willie Nelson. They were both much older then, and for some reason, I don't know if Willie's guitar was either broken or he busted a string or something like that, but Johnny Cash offered his guitar to Willie, and so the crowd just erupts. And then Johnny says, "It's the first time it's actually ever going to be played, isn't it?"
Yeah.
Which is not true. Johnny did play, it was a very subdued type of playing. He played primarily with his thumb.
Yeah, I learned to play guitar from listening to his stuff, so you can hear a lot of the way he played with me. And he also has a couple of great purely acoustic albums, including the first American recordings before Hurt and The Man Comes Around and all that. There are 3 more albums in front of that.
You worked.
The first one of those is just him and his guitar, and his guitar playing is really elegant and simple. And the second one, he's backed up by Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Wow.
Who actually do the backup for the rest of the American recording series. It's just more subdued after Unchained is the name of the second album.
I see. That's really cool. When it comes to your own personal work, how much have you recorded so far?
I've recorded 2 singles, "Scared to Death" and "How I Had in Mind." And those are both available on all your evil streaming services. And you can also find them on my Bandcamp.
Yeah. Actually, if it's all right with you, I'd love to hear one of those songs now.
Yeah, let me do "Scared to Death" for you. I've always been a drifter. I can barely play my guitar. For a while I worked as a grifter, but I never got too far. I don't wanna live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. And I know I should be weeping, but my tears have all run dry. I left my Bible up in Memphis, it was never even mine. Don't wanna live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. I'd love to love you, baby, but I hold myself away.
swung by last night and you asked me, maybe could I be convinced to stay? I don't wanna live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. And I know I should be weeping, but my tears have all run dry. I left my Bible up in Memphis, it was never even mine. Wanna live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. The devil dresses nicely, the devil stinks like gin. Go ahead and try me, but don't lead me into sin. I don't want to live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. And I know I should be weeping, but my tears have all run dry. I left my Bible up in Memphis, it was never even mine. Don't want to live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. Jesus wears a V-neck and jeans, and it smells just like Old Spice. You got me where you want me now, so let's talk about my price. I don't want to live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. And I know I should be weeping, but my tears have all run dry. I left my Bible up in Memphis, it was never even mine. Don't want to live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. I don't want to live forever, but I'm scared to death to die. And I know I should be weeping, but my tears have all run dry. I left my Bible up in Memphis, it was never even mine. Don't want to live forever, but I'm scared to death to die.
Always a fantastic song.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, how did that song come to be?
So I actually wrote that song when I was 17.
Wow.
I was 17 years old, and I thought I was going to be a priest, and I was loosely in formation with a religious community, but not committed. And I had a girlfriend who I loved her.
Mm-hmm.
And she was very important to me. But so was God, and this idea of, am I going to be a priest? And that song is a lot of my anxiety and misgivings about it. And it's evolved over the years, but it was basically written when I was 17. It's been cleaned up. Some of the phrasing has been rewritten as I've matured in things. But that's where that came from. And initially I didn't have a melody to the lyrics. I wrote the lyrics as a poem. And I was trying to write a pretty poly-style murder ballad. And I had that little line, the little do 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 do. And that was the melody for the murder ballad. And I was like, that's going nowhere. The murder ballad was far too mean. And I abandoned it, and I set the Scared to Death to it.
And I mean, wow, 17, that's pretty cool. Would you say that most of your music is written out of, I guess we would call it a negative emotion, anxiety, fear, anger?
A lot of my music is written from that, and I'm lucky now that I don't have a lot of negative emotions in my life. But I do feel some of my best songs come from that. I'm starting to be able to put myself in that kind of headspace mentally when I write, without actually jeopardizing anything going on in my life.
That's probably good. It's like, no, I need some inspiration. Let me lose at the slot machines so I can write something.
But I wrote a couple of songs last year when I lost my day job about my emotions toward that, and that's a whole other story. But I think those were probably the two best songs I wrote last year, were the two that came out of my firing.
Yeah. I think that I mean, the same for me. My best art happened when I got fired and all I wanted to do was just stay in my bed all day. And I wish that my best work wasn't brought out because of pain, but that's just an undeniable fact.
Well, I think pain is, you need a way to articulate it without punching the wall and screaming. And
yeah, it's an outlet.
Yeah. So I think it's a healthy outlet to write a song, to write a poem, and to do something with it, to create out of it.
I think that it would be, for those of you that are listening out there, I didn't have any PSA planned or anything like that, but from the last statistic that I heard, about 120 to 121 adult males commit suicide every day, at least in the United States. And I think that one of the best outlets and best therapies is pouring yourself into an art, whether it's singing, writing poetry, painting. I think that the hopelessness can be channeled into an art form. It's not like, oh, I'm feeling bad, therefore I must make art, but it is something that can help describe what is hurting in here when regular words won't do it.
Well, and I think there's a tendency culturally in America that men don't do art, men don't have feelings. And so you need to a lot of times access your feelings in order to create art, and so this cycle and you also need to create art to process your feelings, so this cycle of what's expected of men and what is supposedly rewarded by society but in practice just further isolates you, creates that.
It's definitely an issue beyond my pay grade, but it is something that I've been thinking about recently.
Not mine, I can solve it.
You solve your...
I can solve it in general for everybody.
Oh. Well, yeah. That's always, simplest answer is always the best. Hopefully it's not a 900 number.
And I see it advertised late at night.
You will just need to give me $500. No, I'm just teasing. Man, I don't even know if $900 those late night 900 ads are still going on.
Yeah, they are.
Oh my goodness.
They're different, but they're on.
Oh my goodness. Well, how about when it comes to your immediate family? Because you've gone through this tough time losing your job and just going through a lot of hardship, how has your family been there along with your art to just kind of support you?
Yeah, so I think, I've been playing music on and off since I was a kid, and on and off professionally for about 10 years at this point. And the past 2 years I've been really, knuckle down, buckle down, do it. So my family has always known that this was something I was interested in, that I wanted to do, and it feels, I think, to a lot of them like a reasonable next step, a almost inevitable evolution of myself.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it has led to that. I mean, you started off very early, just naturally curious about music history, and then pursuing that certain type of sound, and then further from that, it's like you might try to run away from what you are and be like, I'm going to take the proper job, I'm going to try to take the proper path, but you always come back to you.
Well, I mean, music always comes to me the same way. There's a poem called "The Hound of Heaven" about God chasing you, personified by a dog. And that rings true for a lot of things. And for me, one of the things that rings true for is my relationship with music. My family's been great with it. I'm working fairly steady, so we're not like destitute or anything.
Yeah.
But it's not the easiest path in the world to be a professional full-time musician.
No, it's not. Do you feel like that they're looking at the music industry? Is there a way? I mean, I personally believe this, but do you think that there's a way that we can modify it in a sense so that the average artist, the one that has a family and can't go out on the road all the time, can make a living, especially with new technology and stuff like that?
Well, the way it is now, it's pay to play. If you can afford the idle time, you can be successful. If you have the connections, if you have the money to make the connections, you'll be fine. There's a lot of people in our area who are successful that I won't name, that I don't think would be if they didn't have a launch pad.
Yeah, it's just finding that launch pad, I suppose.
And, scrounging for every gig. I was in a Facebook group last Saturday, putting in bids like a contractor, with a bunch of other musicians, just saying, "Oh, we can do it for this much. We can do 3 hours for this." I don't know how to fix it.
Yeah. We all agree that it's broken, but we don't know how to fix it.
I think places that have monopolies on music in the area and anywhere really need to be more open to listening to new artists and giving them opportunities. That's one way to fix it, but it's not something that's in my control.
Yeah. One of the things that I deal with, especially when I'm trying to deal with venues, is that they're interested in one thing. It's totally understandable, but it is a very simplistic view. It's, are they putting butts in seats? And that's the thing that's really annoying, is because I look at the artist and go, they would do well at this property because it matches the aesthetic that they're going for, the mood, the lighting, and also the clientele that's coming in there. They wouldn't care. They'd rather get someone that fills up the place every single night, of people that are putting down large sums of money on their beer, their wine, their food, and so the trick, my small semblance of a solution, is that these places need to be working together. So if there are multiple restaurants and only one of them is doing music, that's the issue. If they're all doing music so that you have this continuous flow of traffic, and being like, hey, we're done listening to this artist here, let's go check out this artist at the place within walking distance, then there's a little bit more hope in that. But that would require these venues to actually work together in that regard.
And they're not going to.
They're not going to.
Another thing you can do, you at home, you the viewer, listener, because we're going to be doing this in an audio format as well.
That's right.
And you can't see me point at you. So no, I'm pointing at you. There is, you can tip artists. That's a huge deal, and I don't see a lot of people do it all that often.
Yeah.
People tell you, oh man, that was great. Oh, thank you. I have this little box, this little jar, this little bucket. You can put something in it to reflect your opinion. And they're like, I don't have cash. Well, I have this QR code.
I have a QR code.
Oh, sure. And they open their phone and they...
Do you remember the guy?
Yes, we played a gig together not too long ago where a guy came up with money in his hand and made a request, and we said, we don't know that song, I'm so sorry, but you can still tip us.
It's like the money was hovering over the box as if the fate of whether we were getting a tip or not was in the request of that song, as if we were a jukebox.
I think that's what he was trying to do, like saying, I will tip you if you do this, but I have no shame. No tienes vergüenza.
I mean, and I get it. There's some people, like Megan had a very elegant solution, Megan Marie, is that she would set up around her venue a QR code just on these small little cards, and you'd scan them and it would show every song that she knows. And then she carries this great big book around of all of her songs and chords and stuff like that. And so people couldn't just come up and blindly ask her for a song that she had never heard before. They could, but she would just say, scan the QR code. And then from there, they'd be able to find it and then tip based off of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's very clever. She's, I wouldn't say she's got it down patent, but it is a very good solution for the kind of mindless, well, I hope that they know this one song that only I appreciate.
I'll tell you all this. If you have any weird out there Johnny Cash song you want to know, I probably know it.
There you go.
I was playing at a Interlingua back this fall, and we were doing a guitar pool kind of swap, song swap with a few people just after playing a show. And I sang a Johnny Cash song I really love called Lonesome to the Bone. And someone was like, no one's ever heard that song before. How do you know it? So I could, you gotta...
That's awesome. Well, actually, we've covered one song of yours. It'd be cool if we could look at another one.
Yeah, let me do the other single, How I Had in Mind, for y'all.
This is How I Had in Mind by Robert Kelly.
Nope. How I Had in Mind. Well, I tried to turn my engine wouldn't turn. Tried to burn some gasoline, but the gasoline don't burn. Tried to spark my battery don't spark. Tried to change the light bulb, wound up sitting in the dark. Well, no matter how I try, don't go how I had in mind. And I'm trying to live right, but it don't go how I had in mind. Well, I tried to give up smoking, but see, winners never quit. Tried to say I'm sorry, come out sounding like tough. Well, I tried to get to work on time, always show up late. Tried to get to heaven, they leave me outside the gate. Well, no matter how I try, don't go how I had in mind. And I'm trying to live right, but it don't go how I had in mind. Well, mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. No, it drives that gospel train, but I can't get on board. And when they reach the destination, they'll send me the other way. Whiskey and the women, God, they would not let me pray. Oh, no matter how I try, don't go how I had in mind. And I'm trying to live right, but it don't go how I had in mind. Oh, yes, I'm trying to live right, but it don't go damn near right. Yes, I'm trying to live right, y'all, but it don't go how I had in mind.
That's a pretty cool song.
Thank you. That's been my closer lately.
Mm-hmm. So. I noticed that the past couple of shows I went to. I think that's an excellent closer.
Yeah, it gets. For me, it gets all the right. Hits all the right notes for it. You know, I feel and sometimes my voice is strained over the course of the night, and it just hits that little bit of edge. Mm-hmm. It's a fun one to perform. Crowds usually get into it. Mm-hmm. My last show I had at Riley's Tavern, there are people dancing to it.
There you go.
So it's a fun one.
So you were mentioning, you know, that's a song that's good because your voice is kind of strained. It's at the end. Is there songs that you purposely do either earlier or later in your set because of like, oh, this one tires me out or something like that?
So one of the Marty Robbins songs I cover is called Don't Worry.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very aching blues song. And it has some high notes and some little vocal acrobatics here and there. Mm-hmm. And long notes held out. So I try and do that one. Usually these gigs are like 3 hours. So I try and do that one in the first hour. At about the halfway point, I like to sing the song Dirty Old Town, written by Ewan McCall. And that is one that I like to sing very, you know, big and out there. And I like to do that at the halfway point, almost as a gauge of how I'm feeling, like how I'm able to sing it. If I'm able to go, you know, as deep as I can, like not necessarily low, but like
got a lower voice than me.
From the depth of my diaphragm. There are times I don't need the microphone in a room when I sing that song.
Yeah.
And it's so that, like, if I'm able to do that at 100%, you know, I know I'm okay. I'm still good, and so I like to do that one about halfway through.
That's I mean, that brings up a really good point. The song of mine that you like, "Slow Down Boy."
Yeah.
There's one line that is at my very lowest, and I almost actually have to physically position myself taller so I can hit this lower note. And there are some nights I just can't.
Yeah.
I just need to take up smoking.
It helps. I need to quit. But another song that I like to do some that I do at the end of my first hour usually is 16 Tons.
Great song.
And instead of just going as low as I can, like the Tennessee Ernie Ford version, I like to go as high as I can on the I-O.
Yeah.
And then bring it as far down as I can on soul. And
soul. I can't.
I like to do it on, like, through soul. So, I-O my soul to the company store.
It's a bleak song.
It's so good and so appropriate for our current day and age. Nothing changes.
Did you see how South Park used it?
No, I didn't.
It was an Amazon distribution center, and they had that song going.
No, that makes sense.
And it was perfect. And I think they used his version, the super deep one.
Yeah, one of my favorite versions is by Bo Diddley.
Really?
Bo Diddley does a great version of 16 Tons.
Awesome. I never heard it before.
On his album, Bo Diddley is a gunslinger. And it's one of my favorites. And I try and incorporate some of his style and how I do it.
You know, it's interesting you bring up Bo Diddley. I had started meddling with the song before You Accuse Me and didn't know it was him. I had heard it through Eric Clapton on his acoustic album. And I was like, I'll implement that. It's pretty easy, 12-bar blue in the key of E. Eric had a great tone for it, and it just seemed like it was kind of like a fun sandbox to play in. And then when I mentioned it to you, you're like, oh, that's Bo Diddley. And I was like, oh, Oh, yeah, that's great.
Yeah, it's Bo Diddley. I first heard it from Creedence Clearwater Revival.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's on Cosmo's Factory.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great version of the song. And that's another big influence on me is John Fogerty and Creedence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, that's pretty cool. And is there anyone else in your family that plays music as well?
So currently, no, not really. My oldest sister is a pianist.
Cool.
Casually.
Still.
I taught my oldest niece how to play guitar, and my youngest niece is learning how to play the piano right now. But there is a long history of musicians in my family. My grandfather, who passed away in 2019, he and his brothers had a family band, and they played Tejano Norteño music, as well as country covers, which he sang. He sang the country covers like Hank Williams, and that was what he really loved to sing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my maternal grandfather. And on my father's side, his mother and her sisters were bar singers in Nuevo Laredo.
Wow.
So there's a lot of there's music in my blood.
Oh yeah.
And I'm happy about that.
That's cool. You come from a lineage of performers.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we talked about briefly is like traveling to do shows and stuff like that. You're a husband and a father, correct?
I'm not a father. I have a dog.
You have a dog. Oh, there you go. You have someone that relies on you. The thought of traveling for me, that excites me. I would love the idea to be able to travel, especially overseas, and play at shows. It could be small, but I would still love that. I'd love that concept if it were possible. Do you like the idea of traveling for shows as well, or is it more of like that would be too exhausting?
Well, I've done it before. I toured briefly in West Texas just this past fall, and I really enjoyed it. I have no problem with the responsibilities of running a household.
Mm-hmm.
But it is nice, to spend a week playing music and not worrying too much, because you're always worried.
Yeah.
But not worrying about too much, okay, what am I making for dinner? Because you're playing somewhere and they're feeding you.
Man, that is cool.
So that's nice, but there's trade-offs. I missed my wife. I missed my dog.
Mm-hmm.
I missed the rest of my family who live in this area.
Mm-hmm.
I missed my friends, though quite a few of my friends were in West Texas at the same time as well.
So how long did the tour go for?
For me, it was a week. It was 5 shows over 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
And
decent amount.
Yeah. I drove out on a Friday morning, and I had my first show that night, and I had my last show on a Thursday night, drove out Friday morning.
Yeah. Was it kind of just for the love of the game, or was there compensation?
I was paid. I cleared after expenses and overhead, all that. I cleared about $75 from the tour. I made more than that, but at the end of the day, after gas and hotels. But I'd do it again. I had a great time, and I'm trying to put a small tour together for March in the coast area.
That would be really cool. Like Port Aransas or
Port A, Corpus.
Port A, Corpus. That'd be great.
Wherever they'll have me.
Yeah, I've tried to reach out to one of the bookers of the Port Aransas, Corpus area, and I guess he just was standoffish. Who is this guy 3 hours drive away talking about sending musicians his way? But I'll keep pursuing him.
Well, and that's easier to get to than West Texas. That's 6-7 hours.
Yeah.
3 hours.
Going 80 miles an hour.
Yeah. So 3 hours there and back, you can almost make a day trip out of it, and it will still, if you're making more than $100 on the gig, it'll still.
Yeah, exactly. I know that there's a definite need out there because there are, venues. There's venues everywhere. Venues with stages that aren't being used. It's just a matter of, I almost like telling the venue, I'm not here to harm you. I want to work with you. And it's just one of those things that is hit or miss. Some people, they're an absolute joy to work with, and others, they're just like, we're going to ghost you. So that's one of the challenges that I face on my side, and I can only imagine a musician by himself that is trying to make a living off of this, how it can feel.
Oh, it's terrible. You get people who just drop off the face of the earth.
Yep.
You never hear from again. You also have terrible gigs. I won't say where. I had one of the worst gigs of my life that put me on an outdoor stage in the middle of the summer. No one was sitting outside. Everyone was inside the restaurant, and their stage was outside. It's 104 degrees.
In the shade.
Yeah, and I'm just... I just powered through those 3 hours and made sure I got paid and then left,
Man.
So even when you are working, sometimes it's unpleasant. But
yeah. I mean, that's...
I'd rather have a bad gig than no gig.
That's true. The one thing that I wrestle with is, like, I need to make sure this doesn't come across as callous, because I'm a fellow musician as well, but with a lot of these musicians, like, I know for a fact that you practice, you prepare for your sets, you are a consummate professional, and you're wanting people to have a good time. Like you said, when you were at Riley's, you were happy that people were dancing at the end. But there's a lot of them where I'm like, I'm not sure if they are practicing or preparing. And so when they're asking for a gig, I'm like, are you just asking for the check at the end? Which sounds like that. I mean, that sounds like me being an asshole. But what I'm really wondering is, are they there to do a great job? Are they going to paint space and time in such a way where people are like, I am glad that Joe got you to come and play?
Well, and that's a risk in any creative endeavor. There are people who think creativity is easy.
Yeah.
And there are people for whom it is easy. I probably could practice more. But I'm also comfortable with the songs I know, I'm like, oh, I know that one. I don't need to practice that one today. So it's a fine line, and I think everyone... I'm mean. I really am. You've heard some of my offhand comments when we've been at open mics or other things.
I can be a jerk on the mic as well.
But I try not to. I try not to tell people. I don't always succeed in not telling them, but I try. But yeah, that's to me. It's like I was raised with the kind of work ethic. If you're being appreciated at work, you give them 100%, because that's all you can give. And if you're not being appreciated, just get the check and get out of there. I can understand in some situations, like, I'm not gonna give the best show of my life for nobody.
But you also know the difference between I'm here to be just background noise and then I am the main event.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you have to make that an issue when you're a performer. And very rarely, even at a gig, if you're at a restaurant, you don't want to be background noise. You want to cut through. I feel like you want people to notice you.
Depends on the restaurant.
It does depend on the restaurant.
Yeah, sometimes I'm just happy to be the noise in the back, but that's like fine dining.
Yeah,
something like that.
But if you're playing for, a taco place or a burger joint, like no, you bust your ass. You give them the show.
That's right.
And I try to mostly. I mean, I still need to eat, so I'll take whatever I can get. But I try to mostly play gigs where they want the show.
Have you seen that? Talking about this just became viral recently. There's a guy traveling from Texas all the way down to, I think it was Argentina. Maybe it was someplace else, but it was somewhere in South America. He's traveling there, no money in his pocket, and he's just trying to play music. So his first stop was in Austin. He asked one of those taco truck squares if he could just play there. Made a couple $100 just from playing. He was playing like top 10 covers and stuff like that. Stayed a night in San Antonio. This is where I last heard, and then he was going to be heading with the rest of that money down to, I'm guessing, the border.
Oh, I hope he makes it.
Oh, I do too. I mean, there's definitely part of my brain is like, that's a scary place, that's a scary place, that's a scary place, that's a scary place. But the other part of me is like, man, if you pull it off, that is so cool.
There's something very romantic about it.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah, it's a very interesting idea.
If you're listening, guy who's doing that, we ourselves here at the Hill Country Musicians Guild, we're proud of you, and if you pull it off, then I'll do something similar as well. But it will probably be between my refrigerator and my bedroom.
A mini tour. Joe Congdon live in the living room.
I'm reaching the first step. This is tough. I haven't done this in a while.
Live at the bottom of the staircase.
$20 before I reach the top. But at any rate, that is a really cool idea. He's doing it as much as he can on foot, I think. So good for you. I was wondering before we get to the next segment if we could listen to another song.
Yeah, let me whip one out, as it were. How about I just wrote this one. It's called "It's Been So Long."
It's Been So Long by Robert Kelly. I think that's what's going to be really cool.
It's been so long. I can keep my hands to myself when I want to, but it's hard when she leans in and whispers, "I love you." I know I shouldn't say it back, but I still do. And I leave the bar for my car when she gives me my cue. And she smiles at me so sweetly, and her smile is so inviting. And she puts her hand in my hand, and our fingers are entwining. I know I shouldn't follow her, but she's a light on a lonely sea. And it's been so long since someone said they wanted me. We make it back to my place, and I wait to let her in, just so we're sure that nobody has followed us again. The coast is clear, it feels so right. How can it be a sin? I pray someday she'll stay and won't go back to him, because she smiles at me so sweetly, and her smile is so inviting. And she puts her hands in my hand, and our fingers are entwining. I know I shouldn't bring her here, but my heart is far from free. And it's been so long since someone said they wanted me. As she leaves, I go to close the door behind her. And when she's gone, I just can't help but linger. What we have now is not enough, but she can give me more. When she's gone, I know that it's wrong, but when she's here, I'm not so sure. Because she smiles at me so sweetly, and her smile is so inviting. And she puts her hand in my hand, and our fingers are entwining. I know we shouldn't meet again, but she gives me what I need. And it's been so long since someone said they wanted me. I know we shouldn't meet again, she don't belong to me. And it's been so long since someone said they wanted me.
Well, brand new. How old is this song?
So I wrote a first draft of it 2 weeks ago on a Monday night at Devil's Backbone Tavern.
Wow. I've only been to Devil's Backbone once or twice.
I try and make a habit of going to their songwriter night on Mondays.
Have you been tempted to be like, I could just, make a living from taking the bills off the roof?
I absolutely have. And I'm tall enough, too. I can just...
Yeah. I'll try to paste a video or a picture of it, but the whole place is aligned with $1 bills.
They're stapled to the roof.
There's easily a couple grand just right there.
Yeah. I could at least get a nice dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
it's
I wrote
legal and tender.
I wrote this. I wrote the first draft of it on a Monday night, and to make sure I could perform it that night, and it was rough. It was a very rough version of the song.
That happens.
And I've been fleshing it out over the past 2 weeks, and I think this is a version of it I'm happy with.
Actually, you brought up in Scared to Death that you wrote it at 17, but you've polished it up since then. You may have changed some wording or the way that it flows. You don't mind that philosophy, or do you think that you're always working on a song?
I think you're working on a song until you put it in the can.
Until you put it in the can, yeah.
And then it's and even then, if you don't like how it turned out, there's no reason you can't redo it.
It's a fair point, yeah. I'm a little bit of music history here. The song, I think it's called Little Piggies from George Harrison.
Yeah.
For some random reason, he does one live performance and he added a whole nother verse to it, and there's only one rendition of that out there.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, I don't know what led you to sing it at this performance, but...
Well, like, again, going back to Johnny Cash, he wrote a song in the 50s called Mean-Eyed Cat. That he always felt was unfinished, but they had him recorded anyway he felt he needed a resolution verse. And eventually, he, in 1996, re-recorded it with a final verse that he wrote. And so, yeah, I think as long as you're happy with the song is what you should be doing with it.
Is there, I know that the lyricism and the story behind it, all of those things matter to you. Has there ever been a time where you were just like, maybe you just wanted to see, I'm going to throw music at the wall and see what sticks, and then you come across a chord that you don't even know the name of, and you're like, I would just want to see what that sounds like with my regular A or G chord and see if I can build something out of that?
Not often. That's not usually how I work. I write my lyrics first with usually a loose idea of a melody, and then I try and find chords, the correct chords to the melody that
it matches the context.
Yeah, and then based on if I find something I like, then I'll adjust the lyrics or melody as necessary until I kind of hammer it out.
Yeah,
I know you love to explore strange chords and stuff.
I'm weird. What happens is I'm usually learning. I'll be in the middle of learning a song, and I'll be like, I have never seen that chord in my life. I like the sound of it. Can I make it fit in a different context? Like there's this one chord in this song, Dixie McGuire, that I'm learning, which is like it's a weird G minor diminished that it sounds like almost like the N chord from like James Bond or something like that. It's one of those kind of chords, and I'm like, can I get this chord to match with any other chord, or does it only fit in the context in which I am playing it right now? If that's the case, then cool, but I doubt that strongly. Most chords can match with another chord if you search hard enough. I just haven't found it yet.
Yeah, that's really interesting, but that's just not how I typically work. I'm a cowboy chord aficionado.
I've seen you play a couple outside of the cowboy chord.
I can when I need to. But that's my comfort zone.
Yeah, well, then also on top of that, you don't rely just on the chords, because I've seen you play kazoo, and you play harmonica, right?
Harmonica. I also play banjo, mandolin, little keyboards.
There you go. I mean, that's more than I do. So, when it comes to adding on like harmonica or kazoo, is it because you were trying to match the original as close as you could?
Initially, I started doing harmonica specifically because I wanted to be Bob Dylan when I was 12. But as I've grown, I've learned to play harmonica in different ways. I've become a much better harmonica player, and I try and use it sparingly but effectively. Frequently to give an instrumental break. Where a song is, I feel it too short, or it's missing something, I'll throw in harmonica solo, and I generally approach it from more of a blues standpoint with the harmonica, where you're playing something complementary, not necessarily the melody.
I remember though, you nailed Long Train Running, the harmonica solo, and that when I was playing guitar. I think we closed out the day playing that.
We did.
And I remember I was playing my section and you start playing and I was like, that's good.
Well, there's terrific harmonica in the original recording.
Oh,
and it's
chills.
I generally don't like to copy what other people do when I'm covering a song. I actually try very hard not to learn things exactly the way they're recorded by another artist. And I actually, when we've played that, I don't play it exactly as it is on the...
Oh, I recognize it, but it felt inspired by...
Very much. I try and bring that to anything I cover. I try and bring a myself while also showing respect to the original performer.
The artist that is performing has to shine through in a cover or something. There has to be a little thumbprint or signature of their own. It's almost impossible not to.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing, really, at the end of the day, because if you're wanting the exact same thing, a carbon copy, get a DJ, just hit play. You're going to... there are some people that will not be satisfied by anything that doesn't sound exactly like the original, and it's just a shame when that happens.
Yeah.
Both of us have come across people that are just like that. And it's just it's the nature of the world. I think like what you were saying before about the music industry is interesting, because we really have to act as marketers of something that a lot of people outside of music just do not understand.
Yeah.
We ourselves are acting as an artiste in a certain amount of time. We're there to, edify, make people laugh, make people cry, think. We're not there to just be this serotonin while someone is talking to another person in the back.
Well, we have a lot on our plate as independent musicians. We have to be artists, we have to be performers, we have to be marketing executives, we have to create and manufacture a product and then market it. And then sell it on the street. And,
there's so much time that goes into that.
Yeah, and it's tough. it's really tough. You're making phone calls, you're sending emails, and you wonder why you haven't written a song in 3 weeks because you've been too busy sending emails that nobody answers. You've been too busy hoofing it to open mics because the downtown parking system is inconvenient. It's
true.
It's not just a job; it's a whole lot of jobs.
Mm-hmm. I mean, everyone thought that marketing with social media would make things easier. It hasn't, because now that we all have the same tools, we're all basically fighting for the attention of the regular Joe.
Yeah.
And you think that the venues would be on our side because we're trying to get people to come there. And half of the time they're so set in their ways they do not want to advertise for a show along with us.
Yeah.
It's mutualism. I mean, please, if you help me advertise, then more people will come to your venue and buy stuff, and more people will come and support me and hopefully tip.
Yeah. Well,
that's my philosophy, at least.
It's a pickle.
Mm-hmm. What do you think? Like, you're New Braunfels native, right?
I was born in San Antonio, but I grew up here.
Gotcha. What would you say, like, how the city is going? Because we've lost, like, Faust Brewing is now on weekends only, which is a shame. Tavern on Castile just closed down. 13 Trees just closed down. The Weighted Plate is moving. The Chapter Co. Said they're moving. I think they're closing down. I know that there are businesses that are springing up in their place, but does this feel tenable for a musician? Like, is this something, it's like, oh yeah, I just want to restart these conversations all over again?
A few of the places, you mentioned, well, most of these places that you mentioned are relatively new, like in terms of my time here in New Braunfels. And I've seen a lot of businesses come and go, unfortunately. And I built some connections with some of these businesses that are closing in this, this wave right now. And I hope they, land on their feet.
Me too.
For their own sake as well as for mine.
Yeah.
So that we can continue these relationships. But I can't say too much since I did used to work for the city. But I don't think... I think the way things are intended to go is a very good idea. I don't think they're doing much to actually facilitate it.
The city itself? Yeah. Well, I won't say it's the complete death knell, but it's the parking that you brought up, that has to be one of the reasons musicians don't want to park downtown anymore, because, now I have to lose money while I'm trying to either network or play a show.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. Or I have to park, a quarter mile away and then lug all my gear towards the venue. That's not the individual business's fault.
No.
Yeah.
And I think there should be, if you're working downtown, I think you should be able to get a parking permit from the city.
I agree.
But that's a whole other...
Yeah. I mean, that's something that, who knows, maybe we'll just have to pick it someday. Or either that, or all the musicians in the area will be like, okay, we're going to take our business and our talent elsewhere.
Well, that's what a lot of people are doing. So
that's true. I mean, like you said, you went to Devil's Backbone. You go to, do you go to the Screaming Goat?
I do not, but Wednesday night's date night usually.
Nice.
When it's not, I'll usually go to Cheatham Street in San Marcos.
And that's a fantastic place.
I'm also going to be hosting on the first Wednesday of the month a guitar pool at Yard Sale Records here in New Braunfels.
That's an awesome. What is a guitar pool?
So a guitar pool, that's what Johnny Cash called it when he and his friends would get together and pass a guitar around and sing something.
One single guitar.
Traditionally, you're free to bring your own instruments. However, I will have a guitar there, an acoustic, another parlor guitar, old Fender acoustic made by Harmony. That there's going to be a hot seat and there's going to be a guitar, and anyone is welcome to come and sing a couple songs.
That is so cool. Say the place and date again.
Yard Sale Records on the first Wednesday of every month from 5 to 8.
That is so cool. Yeah, definitely a shout out to Yard Sale Records. I've been there a couple times. The last time I was there, I think I saw Houston Sunhouse performing outside there. So yeah, it's a really cool spot. I think we're reaching near the end, but I was wondering if you'd like to maybe play one more song for us?
Sure. Do you mind if I sing one of my favorite traditional songs for you?
Yeah, I'd be very happy.
All right, yeah, I'm going to sing Tell Old Bill.
Tell Old Bill. Who wrote that?
I don't know who wrote it, but I first heard it from Dave Van Ronk.
Well, that's really cool. Tell Old Bill, as performed by Robert Kelly and inspired by Dave Van Ronk.
Yeah.
Tell old Bill when he gets home this morning. Tell old Bill when he gets home this evening. Tell old Bill when he gets home.
Fantastic song. That is so cool. Yeah, we're reaching a close here. I think that it's cool that you're able to help me out by taking the mantle of this. Are there any fears or desires or things that we can do to make it beneficial for you and just for the guild in general?
Well, I like ribs.
I like ribs too.
So I think having some ribs around behind the scenes would be good.
We can have a rib break.
Rib break. If we could get sponsored by a rib company or a barbecue place, that'd be great.
We are easily bought here at the Hill Country Musician.
If you have money.
We'll even just take the ribs.
Yeah, well, you know what? For real. No, I'm excited to be, taking this over for the time being and working with some of our artists who want to come in and get a leg up and get seen.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about talking with some of them. There's some I'm not excited, but no. I'm excited to be talking to all of our artists, and I'm looking forward to how this goes.
One thing that I encourage you to do, since you may say that it's not your place to do this. If you feel like you're listening to a musician that is newer, maybe green, you might say, then what I would do is be like, give them obviously a good encouragement, but then also say, like, here's some healthy constructive criticism.
Yeah.
I don't mind sharing that over a record or over a podcast, because I want them to listen back to it and be like, this is where I was at this point, I'm here now. And then they themselves have inspired themselves. I'm not saying act like, what was his name, Fletcher from Whiplash?
Well, I have a switch for that.
Yeah. Were you rushing or were you tracking? But I think that is essential, because one of the things that we want to provide as a guild is an opportunity for people to develop as a musician. And listening to someone like you, some of our other artists who have been writing music for decades, that is an invaluable resource. And so I think that you're in a wonderful position to listen to some younger artists and give them that little TLC. And I think that they should, most of them will be good sports about it.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, I'm looking forward to, to working with so many great, talented local musicians and artists.
And also, one last thing. What do you think about the Junior Studio?
I like it. I've enjoyed my time here, and I'm looking forward to working in the space.
Yeah, I hope we can bring in some more gear. I think that the gear reviews are going to be a fun piece of entertainment, because they'll be like, oh, it's not only is it fun to watch, it's also informative. and can help people make a monetary decision on should I buy this piece of gear or not. So that's coming out as well. We have the Junior Studio up and running. If you guys want to schedule a time, you can message me at hillcountrymusician at gmail.com, or you can go to the Instagram or Facebook and write to me there. We also have our website. That's a wonderful way where you can contact me there. And then I guess finally the last bit that I will say is that we're happy to bring on sponsorships and partners, whether it's filling up the spaces around us with your brand, or whether it's just creating a commercial break. We would love to work with people either locally or in the area, because we want this to be an excellent piece of media. We want to increase the content, we want to increase the viewership, and then also most importantly, we want to make sure that it is a piece of media that whoever's sitting in this chair here is happy with. And so that's all I got to say. Anything else you'd like to share?
Buy me ribs.
Buy him ribs. That will be on our next t-shirt. All right, well, this has been Joe Congdon with the Hill Country Musicians Guild. Robert Kelly, thank you so much for coming in and
Thanks for bringing me in.
and thank you for being the host from here on out.
Yeah.
So we'll see you on the next one. You guys take care.